Uh, Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, everybody. It's Friday. We made it. The Morning Deuce with David Spindle. We made it to the end of the week. Let's start off just by pouring one out for Tim Duncan. It might have been his last game. We don't know for sure if he's retiring. Probably the greatest power forward of all time. In my opinion, the greatest power forward of all time. You know, for some people, like with Kobe and Jeter, we had incredible sports seasons of saying thank you. But sometimes guys you're not sure they're going to leave. They've been consistent their whole career, a little bit under the radar at times. They kind of Irish goodbye. And it seems like that might be what Tim Duncan did, where we all expected the Spurs to at least make the Western Conference Finals. They got bounced early, and now we're wondering, hey, did we just was that the last game of one of the greatest basketball players of all time? What impresses me about Tim Duncan in particular is he was such sustained greatness since his draft in 1997, since his years in college. It's amazing when someone's the best in the world at something. That's what I've always said. I want to be the best in the world at something. I don't even care what it is. But to stay the best in the world at something, to stay at the top of your craft for so long, takes a work ethic and passion that is even more rare than the talent and perseverance it takes to get there. And that's what Tim Duncan personified, the consistency of being the best in the world at something. So in case we don't get to see you again on the basketball court, we're pouring one out for Tim Duncan. A couple house cleaning things that are interesting. It seems like Brazil things are getting even crazier there. I don't know if you listened to my podcast earlier about the fact that Olympic Village is the pinnacle of the sex world, and we're sending it to Brazil, where there's a disease that can be transmitted by sex. But Harvard seems to have listened to my Morning Deuce podcast, because a bunch of scientists there are basically saying that the idea of having the Olympics in Brazil, in Rio, is probably could cause like a global epidemic with Zika. There was supposed to be a baseball game in Brazil. I think it was Brazil. If it wasn't, it was another Caribbean island, tropical place that is badly infected with the Zika virus, and they pushed back the game temporarily and will have it the regular place in the United States because they are terrified of Zika. So I was maybe making light of the issue with the whole, Olympic Village, my tongue-in-cheek satire there. But the idea that we're sending some of the best athletes in the world all over the place, and millions of fans and journalists and spectators and families to this disease-ridden area is a little concerning to me. I'm just going to say it. And now Harvard, who listened to my podcast and then decided to do the research to back it up, they seem a little concerned too. I don't know. If you're a journalist and you're put on the beat to go to Brazil, I think you got to be a little nervous. I think you have to be a little concerned. Because mosquitoes are everywhere. And can you imagine being there and being bit by a mosquito and then you just freak out the whole time? It's like if you're in a room and you see a spider or something, then you just assume there's like spiders everywhere. Or if you find a hair in a salad, then you just assume like the entire salad is contaminated with hair. That's how I feel like getting in a mosquito area in Brazil is. Rio has the biggest issue in all of Brazil with Zika. If there's one mosquito that bites me in Brazil, I'm just mentally giving myself Zika, even if I don't have it for the rest of that trip. So Brazil's on board. Also, it doesn't help that it looks like the president of Brazil is about to be impeached related to huge money problems, illegal back money deals that Dilma Rousseff has made. And the Senate just voted to impeach her, and she's currently suspended, and there's an interim president, and he elected all male cabinet members. So far, Brazil seems to have everything together, because clearly there's some really big political issues there, not to mention health issues. So yeah, let's just, hold this massive sporting event there. I don't get it. I'm a little concerned. I don't think you can back out now. I don't have a solution. Maybe we can just call Putin and be like, hey, you remember how you built a gigantic Olympic city in Sochi from this like abandoned village. You still got that thing going on. He does this thing every year in Russia where he plays in like the celebrity hockey game, and he always wins the MVP because they basically always let him score. And I would hate to be a goalie in that game because I feel like if you accidentally block one of Putin's shots or touch him or do anything, you probably get executed in the locker room, or at least like get your legs cut off. And I'm not even sure I'm joking, because the North Korean soccer team that made the World Cup, when they didn't win a single game, they went back to the biggest stadium in North Korea, and supposedly fans just pelted them with like rocks and food and fruit, and they were humiliated in front of the entire, like, whoever went to this massive soccer stadium, and they have one of the biggest in the world, like hundreds of thousands of people, and they just humiliated them publicly, shamed them, and then made the coach of the team like a foreman on some construction unit. So, weird stuff goes down there. Weird stuff goes down. Also, yesterday, I talked about using humor to express things that maybe you're insecure about saying normally, and how they tends to be the first way that an issue comes up. Well, I saw this unbelievable video on the internet that made me laugh so hard under the name, it was under Mentlegen, I guess is how you would say it, but mental, like Mentle, gen, Gen, Mentlegen. This guy had cerebral palsy, and he was making a workout video, like a comedy workout video. It was so funny. I was crying laughing. He was in a wheelchair and doing a workout video, a treadmill workout video. And he was so funny and so charming the way that he did it. And he like rolled his wheelchair up, and it was so well written and so well done. And he gets out of his wheelchair and tries to walk on this treadmill and starts giving all this fitness advice while having like the biggest struggle in the world on this treadmill, but totally embracing the like irony that, he has cerebral palsy and he's trying to do a workout video. And it was so funny, and he did it so well and so cleverly. It was hysterical. The armband, the headband he had on was so funny. His quips in the middle were so great. At one point, he was like, maybe we can just go on the treadmill without the treadmill moving. Or maybe I can just like, does it count if I'm just like on my stomach on the treadmill? I was laughing so hard. It was so funny. And it made me think about, using humor to embrace your insecurities. I mean, I can only imagine what life would be like with cerebral palsy, and to just embrace that and be able to project it to everyone else and make it funny. And it's almost like you're uncomfortable to laugh because, it's not it's not good to laugh at something that someone wasn't in control of, this horrible, disadvantage they have. And this guy has totally turned it to something, the best it could possibly be. And I think that was really cool. That's the end of part one. Part two today, as we go through the Friday episode, I talked a little bit earlier about getting Shawshanked into some movies. Those movies you can't turn off when you put them on. People gave me some shout-outs of movies, the same thing that happens to them. I can't remember, like Predator, Rambo, a lot of action ones. Fast and Furious was one. Suspense movies, too. Which I guess made sense. I felt the same way about Ocean's 11. But I saw on Facebook this post where someone was asking what songs make you instantly happy. And I started to think about that, and I went to 3 songs, and I'm sure everyone right now immediately thinks of, what song makes me instantly happy. And I'm sure everyone has a different vibe, but the first one I thought of was Let It Be by the Beatles, which has always been my song when someone asks if you could only listen to one song on an abandoned island forever, what song would it be? I always say that would be the one that I would pick if you had to only listen to one song. I just think it's beautiful, it's perfect. I grew up listening to the Beatles. It has a lot of memories for me. That song makes me happy. Then I started to think about some others. The song I'm Alive by Michael Franti came up, which I'm not sure if everyone even knows what that is, but Michael Franti's awesome. And actually one time during his concert, which I got to go to for free, I got invited up on stage to dance with him, which is probably the cover photo I'll use on my Facebook page when you look at this. And that's an amazing story for another time that was the first day of my road trip when I moved to California. So I think that song has some energy because I was up on stage with him, and the song itself is just, it might even be a little cheesy, but it's just so happy and it's so great. And it's just about embracing the fact that you're alive and you can do whatever you want and make yourself happy. And the third one was that I came to my mind was Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, which is a phenomenal song. The irony is I'm Alive with Michael Franti and Sitting on the Dock of the Bay with Otis Redding both have heavy whistling choruses, or whistling parts of them. I guess whistling makes me happy. Maybe I'm a seventh dwarf and I didn't even know it. I'm just like, but whistling that's that. For some reason, when whistling is in the upbeat song, it makes me happy. But the thing about Sitting on the Dock of the Bay is it's not particularly upbeat. I mean, the song itself is about how, like, I've tried to make changes in my life and these things have happened, and in the end, like, no one's going to change. There's nothing I can do. I'm just going to sit here and let the world do its thing and just waste time because, I've been trying to change it and it's just not working. And I went thousands of miles to try to make a change and it's just not working. So here I am just like sitting enjoying myself because there's no point. And I guess that's one way to interpret the lyrics. But whenever I hear it, the song makes me happy. I have a weird connection to the song because Otis Redding, who's so incredible, he died in a plane crash on my birthday, like 21 years or something, 20 plus years before I was born, which is, again, not something happy. So why is this song associated as one of the songs that makes me instantly happy? Well, I think just the way the song is so beautifully written and the music and the idea of, I've talked about it with hiking in nature. I'm happy sometimes when I just get out by the water with myself and my own thoughts and clear the sound that's going on around me. I mean, some days I wake up, like this morning I woke up and I'm immediately on Facebook, social media. I'm immediately listening to a podcast. I'm immediately doing something else. And I run from this to this. Then I'm at work and I'm consuming media and doing my job all day long. Back home, listening to the radio, get to my house, have 2-3 phone calls, and then I'm up on the podcast. And it's like, how long did I just kind of let myself sit today and check in with myself? I didn't really. Like, I was with screens and with people and with noise all day long. And something about that song, just like sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time, is just remembering to slow down and enjoy yourself. And I've talked about that before. And that's maybe the pull away I get from the song. But was particularly interesting is I clicked on YouTube to listen to it, and there were 2 videos that stood out, and one was the Otis Redding video. But the most watched video was actually a cover by an organization called playingforchange.com, which I'd never heard of. And what they had done was taken all these different street musicians from all over the world and recorded them playing different parts of the song with different instruments and arranged it differently. And they carried, the singers throughout. They switched singers a couple times. And they also did it with the song Give Me Shelter, which is an unbelievable song. And the cover version, that Playing for Change version, was amazing. And they were all over the world, Japan, South Africa, parts of South America and Europe. And it was so cool to see all these different street musicians and their unique styles blended together so perfectly. And that ended up making me happy as well, going down on this little rabbit hole of the internet where someone posts a video, just a simple post, what song makes you instantly happy? And next thing I know, I'm thinking about the songs that do, and all of a sudden I'm watching all these people who play for change on the side of the road in whatever city, village, town they're in, and they're all united together. And it made me think of what the incredible abilities we have nowadays with the internet to communicate and connect artists from all over the world who might not have anything and put them together and make them be heard. The video had 25 million views. I'm sure these people are getting money from that. So they're getting their music heard. Maybe they're getting a little bit of money. Maybe they're able to make some different life choices where they wouldn't be able to if they were just still playing on for change. The exposure you can get today is incredible. And it made me think those 3 songs, they all make me happy in a different way. But playing those and doing the things that make me happy, actively choosing to be happy, that's a very important and special thing. And maybe that's what that was the draw to me. Playing for change, like all these different people, being with people that have a like interest or a like goal or something that helps you be happy. Surrounding yourself with people, finding people, even if you don't know them yet, who can help you be happy. Choosing to listen to music that makes you happy, or knowing when you're upset what makes you less upset. How to vocalize why you're upset to get yourself happy. What you can, if you're upset with yourself, what you can do to make yourself feel happy. What you can listen to make yourself feel happy. Because sometimes I think we let our emotions control us, and it's important to listen to your emotions. But it's also important to know you're in control of them. So, make the change by doing the things make you the way you want to be. And that's how you should go into the weekend. A lot of you have free time on the weekend. Maybe fill it with the sounds that make you happy, the people that make you happy. Maybe put yourself in a position to meet new people who do things that make you happy and excited. Maybe there's something that you can do to create your own happiness this weekend to make the most of it. And sometimes that's just sitting on the dock of the bay doing nothing. But that's what you need to be happy. So be in control of your own happiness this weekend and do the things that make you happy. Create that happy space. This has been Davis Spindle, The Morning Deuce, brought to you by hashtagtrending.com, hashtag tell your hot friends. Triple gold star if you made it through this week, I think, or maybe even more on quadruple gold stars. The stars just keep piling up for everybody who's listening. Tell someone that you think might like this to listen. Pretty soon, I'm going to start getting this up, not just on YouTube, but a podcast site. With a lot of good things in the works. I might even have a guest. I'm a little hesitant about guests, but I think I have a cool one, a very cool one. So put that in your pocket and save it for later. Just like when you put leftovers in the fridge, you forget they're there, then you open the fridge and you're like, oh my God, I forgot that I still had 3 dumplings from the Chinese restaurant. Today is awesome. Or like the $5 in your back pocket you didn't remember and then you dig in. Oh yes, that's great. That's the interview for Morning Deuce. We're done. Have a good one. I'm out. Great weekend. Go team.